Hi and welcome. I'm Caroline Best of the Tao of Horsemanship, Everything Horses and More blog. Today's topic is going to be about connection and communication with your horse. We're going to dive in deeper. I know I've had a few videos out there about this, but I've only covered the basics of what it means to me and how I teach it, at least on the fundamental level, the very beginning stages of how I teach connection and getting a deeper connection so that you have the ability to have a conversation or communication with your horse. So today, we're going to be talking specifically about the 3 most effective ways to connect with your horse. And there's going to be 3 effective ways that I'm going to show you about how to teach you. And this is really cute. I'm just watching, it's fine with me, Riley playing with Blue. And then I'm going to teach you the 3 ways to teach your horse how to connect to you. But first it has to begin with you. There's a lot of liberty training out there. I do liberty training. There are many trainers out there on YouTube populating YouTube with liberty training and connection, using the words connection. And I will be busting on them shortly in my debunking series, only to bring a better awareness and education about where they go wrong and why it doesn't have to be done that way. And he just kicked out at Riley. It's not about me trying to show anyone up when I do these things, these debunking, or to show you guys that my way is the only way or the best way. I mean, I do believe it is the best way. But I also have so much experience with the things that I talk about that there's too many people out there that don't have enough experience, and they're just giving you their experience as absolute facts and absolute solutions. And I want to go out there and tell you that it doesn't have to be done a certain way, or that perhaps it should be done a different way. So not to go off on a tangent about that, but connection, it's increasingly becoming a buzzword, and everybody wants to use it because they realize that everybody wants that level of connection with their horse. So let's just talk a little bit about connection. And I'm gonna camera can keep rolling. Lele, I'm gonna see if I can help my old horse with the baby. Come here, Lay. Come here. Come on. Come here. Good boy. Come. 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 Shh. Good boy. Out. Good boy, Lay. Come here. Lay. Come. Come on. Come, babe. Come. Come. Good boy. Yeah, well, that's why the baby needs to get put out every once in a while with the other horses that are a little tougher and stronger. Pretty cool that there's a great advanced level of connection for you all right there. So I was able to send energy to the baby and focus to the baby while I pulled Legend in at the same time to say, I'll protect you, Legend, and the baby needs to go. Good boy, buddy. Yep. Out. Out. Can you, Sabrina, text Clarissa and ask her to put the baby out in the training field? Put him out with the big herd. He can run that energy out with these guys. It'll boss him. These older horses can't protect themselves. Come here, babes. Don't do that to your eye. And to bring Legend's fly mask. He's rubbing his eyeball. Go figure. I love you, Blue. You're a good baby. You're fine. Come on up here. Your mama loves you. You just can't pick on Legend like that, okay? We're going to put you out, sweet boy. We're going to put you out. So this is why I had Sabrina film all of this for you all, because I just called the baby in. This is the kind of work I do with the chakras and energy. It's real, you guys. It's not woo-woo-y. So I focused on the baby, called him in, and we're going to talk about this for this video. Called him in. There's Ledge just protecting me. So as long as the baby respects that, if not, my whip's gonna nail the baby. So he can't be rearing up. But Ledge, you can't protect me. I'm supposed to protect you. All right, so one of our staff, Clarissa, will come and put the baby out. And the baby doesn't like to stay out with the other herd for too long, because he's grown up with these guys and they've been great parents and mentors for him. But as the baby, who's 1.5 years old now, continues to mature, it's normal for him to want to play and figure out the pecking order still. So that's why we put him out with the other horses when stuff like this happens, and then we bring him right back in when he's ready. Come here, love. Come here, girl. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Cha. Come on. Come on. Cha. Come on. Good girl. She's gonna go. Yep. We're gonna be working with Lovey for this video. She's all fired up. There's a lot going on. All right. So that was great stuff to show you guys, because it just shows you how amazing the level of connection and conversation is. And when you keep working on it all the time, even 15 minutes that you have with your horse, you keep honing in and tuning it. It's like a tuning fork, tuning in and tuning it. And hi, Ledge. I know, buddy. It's amazing the results over time, how you can use it in all sorts of every dynamic you have with your horse. So let's get back to the 3 most effective ways to connect with your horse. And I will be teaching you my approach, my method, the 3 ways to teach you, and then the 3 ways to connect with your horse, to teach your horse. So let's talk a little bit about connection. Being connected is what allows us to have a conversation. That's the purpose, that we don't have to make our horse do stuff. We don't have to continuously pull them along and make them do everything. That they are smart enough, sentient beings. They live their life through somatic experiences, through their senses. They're very intelligent, very well socialized. Relationship is very important to them. So when you have all of this, the nature and the psychology of it, and you understand it, why not use it to your benefit? So connection is really easy for them. They're always connected through their nervous system, which is akin to the energy frequencies as a herd. They're connected through the subtlety of the body language, an expression, a swish of the tail, a flicker of the ear. I mean, they're so tuned in. So, unfortunately, through so many conventional and traditional training, we don't consider that. And we're not taught about that level of connection and how important it is to the horse. And we dull them out, and we scream at them all the time, and we yank on them all the time, and we kick them all the time, and we pull on them all the time. The hardest part is teaching you guys. That's what we're going to be talking about, is teaching you to not just slow down and become more aware, but self-aware about yourself, what you're bringing to this other being, the level of connection or lack of, the level of conversation or lack of. Because it's there. It's always available. They're always ready. And it's magical and amazing. And it's another key component to developing safety with your horses. Absolutely. So being connected is what allows us to have a conversation with another, including our horses. When we are connected, we are able to communicate effectively. Getting there is not always easy. And I'm going to help you guys with that, with yourself and with the horse. In this video, I will share with you the 3 most effective ways to prepare yourself, and then the 3 ways to prepare your horse for a deeper communication and a deeper connection. Before I begin, I'd like to address the following questions about connection, because I get these often. So it's 3 questions. Everything's about 3 today. What is connection? Or why is connection so important to our relationship with our horse? Why? I think I just mentioned that because it is important to the horse, because they're highly evolved social beings. And when you are social, you're gregarious, and you obviously enjoy and need and want the companionship of others, which is related to relationship. So you can't have a relationship, you can't have engagement, you can't have a dialogue if you're not connected. So my first answer to why is connection so important to our relationship with our horse is because it allows us, one, to observe. Connection teaches us to observe first what's going on with ourselves and with our horses, to observe so that we can learn how to read and understand the information that we're getting. The body language, the dynamic. So observation is so key to the beginning of developing connection. And the second is connection is important to the relationship because it allows us to develop a conversation and a level of communication between the two of you. And the better you get at this, like you saw some really advanced stuff, you know, how could I whip the ground and chase with a fence in front of me, chase one horse off while I pulled the other in or stopped the other. That's all energy, you guys, and the power of intention. Horses are so tuned into this stuff, but we dull them out all the time because, as I was saying, through traditional and conventional methods of handling and training, we never give them an opportunity to be in this space the way they are with each other all the time. We don't allow it. We're not taught to. It's frowned upon. We make them, we pull them, we kick them. We just dull them, and we teach our horses to check out and go on autopilot, just like we would do. Number 2 question, what does connection mean and how does it show up? My answer for that is connection is very layered. There's different layers that you're going to be building upon, and you're going to get, it's like building blocks. And today we're going to be doing the foundation, the fundamentals of connection. What you guys witnessed was a much more advanced, because Legend and I have been together 15 years, and the baby is immersed in this all the time. So he's picking up and learning from me and the advanced horses all the time. That's why I also don't want him out with the other half of the herd that isn't nearly as advanced as this herd is. So connection's very layered. It first shows up when 2 beings are paying attention, right? You can't have a conversation if you're the camera and you're talking to me and I'm looking over there. Hello? Maybe 10% of me, 50% might be paying attention, but you don't have my full attention. And you want a horse's full attention. So attention equals connection, mental connection. That's the first, is the mind. We have the mind, the body, and the soul, which is the relationship. So right now we're just talking about the mind, the eyes, the horse paying attention to you, just like I'm looking at you into this through this camera right now. As connection grows, it becomes all-consuming, meaning the 2 beings become one in mind, body, and soul. So, like I said, the more you keep practicing this, and the more you keep developing it, the bigger it gets, and it's in everything. And so with Lovey, I'm not just going to show you the ground connection. There's the boys. Good. Do you see that? The camera got the baby. So go to the baby. So go to the mound of dirt. So he got loose. He ran up to the boys to give them that kind of aggressive energy that he did the old horse, Legend, and the boys ran him up over the mound of dirt. So I'm not going to let the baby in here. He wants to come in here, and because he's really so attached to me and Lovey, but he needs to learn how to play with them. It says perfect. That was pretty cool. So mind, body, and soul. So for Lovey, we're going to show, I'm going to demonstrate what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to show you how it transfers over to riding, which is going to become our second video. The pick-me-up, permission to get on. So the third question is, often we have the best or most connection with our horse when we are just being with them. just hanging out with them, grooming them, going out in the pasture and being with them while they're grazing. You get these magical moments where you're just full of love and relaxation, and you just think something and your horse responds to it and touches you, and you just know instantly, you can feel it. It's all consuming that you had that moment, that oneness in mind and soul relationship. And of course the horse is still with you. They're connected to you physically because they're still with you. So that's the body. So why is it that those are the only moments that are the most magical for us? You know, why is it that when we're so quiet and just being with our horse that we feel so connected versus when we're working with them or training them? And the answer is, I'm going to show you why. I'll provide the beginning steps to develop the level of connection that you can keep building on, that you will take into everything you do, you guys. You got to start out smart though, and you need to start out with the building blocks, and that's what this video is all about, which most likely will be part 1. You've got to start out small, and you really need to train yourself first. Because if you aren't what the horse wants to be with, then you're going to be making it happen. And there's a couple of videos, a couple of trainers out there. I'm going to do a debunking series, as I mentioned earlier, because they're making it happen. And I want to point it out because it's education for you guys. So many of you, you know, I don't know how else to reinforce this concept. It's for all of us as we continue to learn, as I'm a student of the horse and always learning myself. It's like I have certain books that are like Bibles to me. I've read them for the last 30 years. But every so often when I open the book up, I see it differently. I can reread the same things I've underlined or highlighted or bookmarked, and it'll have a whole new meaning for me. Years later, 6 months later. And where I'm going with that is, as we continue to grow and evolve, we get a different lens, a different trained eye, a different knowledge, a different enlightenment. And I've noticed with a lot of these master liberty trainers and YouTube videos out there that they're just teaching you the wrong thing or the thing to accept. And I know as a student, and when I first started all of this and getting back into horses, I remember those basic steps. And when I was doing them, they were aha moments for me, but they were still just the beginning. I only knew what I knew. I didn't know what I didn't know. And so at that moment, I'm like, this is so new and different for me and so amazing. But as I continued to want to learn and learn more, I realized that what I had learned was just the basics or the foundation, that there's still so much more. And I'm such an advocate of safety for you and developing that for the horse. So safety means the horse thinks a lot and doesn't react. And safety for you means the horse takes care of you, considers you. And we can reach those amazing, dreamlike moments with our horses all the time in every situation, having that level of safety. That's my ultimate goal, I think, with my work, as well as the relationship being so amazing. Yes, she's rolling, what we did not want her to do. That's fine. She's being a horse, and poor Ledge wants to come. So where I'm going with all of this is, we could say, oh, Caroline, this person does it just fine for me. I'm happy with that. That's fine. But if you want what you see with my horses, and you want safety, this is where you're going to want to go with my method. So the third question was more about, how can I get this level, maintain this level of connection in everything I do, including the training? Well, again, it has to happen with you. That's why we're going to deal with us first, and how to help you be the person, the relationship that your horse wants, seeks out, and protects. Like a baby, like a herd member. I've mentioned many times in many of my other videos how protective my horses are. I have 8 horses. I really only work with 7 of them, and 2 of them are retired. They are so protective. You just saw a legend fighting off the little baby and then coming back to corral me or coming back to me. It's amazing, you guys. And safety, when a horse reveres you as one of their own family members, they covet you and they protect you just like they would a baby. It's that simple and that profound and that real. So we're going to begin with you, not the horse first. And this is so important to developing, like I said, developing you into the person, the relationship, the safe spot, the sweet spot. So what's important to horses? Feeling safe and comfortable. And then when they feel safe and comfortable, they open up and relax enough to play, to lay down, and to eat. So we're getting back to a lot of common sense basics with horse psychology, what's instinctual for them, and the nature of horses in general. So when a horse feels safe and comfortable, they relax. And they relax enough to eat, play, and lay down. So we need to create the level of safety and comfort in you so that your horse wants to be with you and feels good around you. So there's many things that we're going to learn to do. It's not just about brushing and hugging and kissing and petting and rubbing and scratching our horses. That's all important to the relationship, because that's what horses do with each other. They groom each other, they graze together, they share space together, they comfort each other, they stand over each other while they sleep, they share food together. So we're going to do all of those things in our time with them. But specifically, we need to get you inside, your energy inside. We need that energy to feel really good to the horses. So the 3 steps for you, the person, the first one is to become self-aware. Pay attention to how you feel, what you bring to your horse every time you see them. Look, I have stress just like the next person. I have things that interrupt my day, that go wrong, just like everybody else. I'm just like you. But I've practiced this way of being, this energy, for so long that it's easy. I can still be upset, and I can want to cry, or I can be frustrated and have anger and frustration about something, and I can still go to my horse. And most of the time, I can balance that, and then I can easily balance the energy so that I don't scare them with all that intense energy. I'm also very intense, but I've learned through this practice how to, I don't have to get rid of it to go see my horse. This is who I am. This is where I am today. Just like they might not be in the best place today, but we still have to do the work together. So be honest, be authentic about it, be aware. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to, I'm going to teach you a breath work, a breathing technique that is phenomenal. And, allow yourself to take the time to acknowledge how you feel. Because if you don't, you just keep adding and adding and adding and adding on to that negative energy, that energy that your horse doesn't want to be around. So remember, horses want to feel safe and comfortable before they want to eat. So this is not about treat training. We're not going to give our horse treats for positive reinforcement. We're going to create a space so that our horse wants to be with us. And then we're going to include all the things that they enjoy, which is not about food right now. It's about rubs and love and scratches. It's a more gregarious socializing. So again, the first one is becoming self-aware. If you're not aware, you're not going to get anywhere. You might as well make it happen. And there's plenty of people out there to teach you that. Trust me, they're all over the place in natural horsemanship. They disguise themselves. There's nothing natural about making it happen. Number 2 is reconnect with yourself energetically. Learn how to, I'm going to teach you how to reconnect energetically so that you can learn how to ground, center, and still negative energetic forces within you, negative energy. So like I said, how can I go out? Oh my God, I can't believe this. I've only got an hour, half an hour. We got to film. How can I be in the right space with my horse? Well, it's a practice. I'm going to get in that space by focusing on what I have to focus on, and I am going to be doing my breath work the entire time. And because I'm so well trained with this, just like you can become, it happens instantaneously. And what it does in a beautiful way is it eventually resets the algorithms inside of you. So you start to, your nervous system, to produce endorphin instead of adrenaline. So it's that adrenaline that your horse picks up on that disguises itself in emotions, anger, frustration, whatever, pain, sadness. And it's adrenaline. And your horse is like, oh my God, that's the alert. I mean, I'm supposed to be alert right now. There's adrenaline going on. So we want to replace that with endorphins. And so I will show you how to do that. And then the third, when you're in this place where your energy feels so good and you feel so good, now you've created that space that your horse wants to be with. And so that's a great time to ask your horse to join you, to connect with you. Don't make it happen. Make it happen inside of you. Don't make it happen. Don't make your horse come to you. Ask your horse to come to you. And so how that would look with Lovey right now is I'm definitely grounded, and I'll go through the exercise with you. So I'm going to ask Lovey to join me. And if my energy in my mind, Lovey, I'd like you to come here, is what I'm saying in my mind and my heart, isn't enough for her, I'll add a little bit energy with a cluck. Good girl. And I'll pull her in like you see my actions. I'll pull her in. Good girl. And I just asked her to connect with me. So she's connecting with me in her mind by looking at me. She's connecting with me in her body by joining me or hooking on, staying with me. And she's connected in the relationship. You can tell how soft her eye is. If we start to hug and groom each other, that's part of it showing up. Now, I'm not going to keep nagging her not to eat. And I'm not going to get into showing you how to resolve that in this video. I will in the next video. Because we don't want to keep clucking all the time. We want to teach our horse to stay tuned in to this deep, subtle level of connection. But you've got to create it first within yourself. You've got to be the leader. Be the person, the space, the relationship that your horse wants to be with. It's just like having kids. It's just like being in any relationship. So those are the 3 steps to tuning in. You tuning in so that your horse wants to connect with you. Becoming self-aware. Where are you? How do you feel? Being real about it and honest. Second is, what do we do with that? So we're going to show a breathing exercise. And then the third is when you feel like, wow, this feels really good. I'm on that endorphin high, total relaxation, feel really calm and sedate. Then you'll ask your horse to join you. And I always ask through the horseman's handshake. I have a whole program, the spirituality of horsemanship, that teaches you the layers of this. I'm not going to get into it through these blog videos, but it's a whole program on how to really, and it works. There's so many testimonials from people all over the world. It just works like that and changes your whole, your entire relationship, including how you work with your horse. It changes everything because it changes you first. And you're the one that's bringing this to the horse, so you have to be the change first. Horses are great mirrors and great followers. That's innate within them.